There's a coat, there's a hat, and there's some bags that are packed, ready for an adventure. What's happening? The thing about travelling is often there's a lot of waiting in airport lounges such as this. I left Whangarei and I was sitting in Auckland Airport waiting for a connection, amusing myself by looking at flights from Fiji, taking off going back to Fiji, wishing I was on it, looking at my plane sitting there for a while, and then it was time to get on board and fly.
If the seatbelt sign lights up, return to your seat and buckle up. If you need air, oxygen masks will fall from above.
If an emergency were to happen during takeoff or landing, tighten your seatbelts and place your forehead against the seat in front.
I'm always amused by the messages of doom and gloom that you get as soon as you get on an aircraft. But that wasn't going to stop me. I was on a new adventure. As I looked out of the window and saw this breathtaking view below, I knew that this was going to be something special. I was travelling down to the South Island of New Zealand, a wild and untamed place. Eventually, as the aircraft broke through the cloud cover, I could see for the first time the views of South Island, which were absolutely stunning and breathtaking. This is truly a wilderness, truly an untamed land. It's a good 1,000 miles from where I've been staying in North Island. Rather than taking the boat all the way down here, I decided to fly down and rent myself a vehicle and do a bit of a road trip. Just had to see this place, and the first views of it had that sort of frontier feel of rawness and untamedness, and something that I wanted to experience. Hi. There it is, my home for the next 2 weeks. I've come away from the hire centre. I've just stopped for a little bit. I'm uploading downloading rather, a local region map because I'm already lost. 5 minutes out from the place I'm lost. I have to hold it out the window to get a signal. But yeah, this is going to be my home. We're surrounded by mountains. It's an incredible place. I'm going to show you in a minute. But the first thing to do right now is to, I haven't had anything to eat since I left the boat this morning. The boat, that's 1,000 miles from me right now, the boat. I need food, and I'm living in the van. So I need coffee, milk, all the basics, and some beer and wine, obviously. And I need to eat something. So I'm trying to find a campsite and a supermarket first of all. Right, this is home. I've got all the comforts of home in here. I just got to work out how it all works. There's a bed up there that slides down. And there's electric power. I need to get that going so the refrigerator's going, because I've got beer and I don't want it to get warm. And now I'm going to go and find something to eat. I bought some stuff there, some snacks for the road tomorrow. So I'm going to look at some awesomeness. And it is awesomeness. From what I've just seen already, it's like, let the adventure begin! First of all, there's beer in there. I'm going to have one of those first. And so I had what was the equivalent of a road trip anchor beer. Then I set off to find some foods. Friends had recommended this place, said it was the best burger they'd had while they were in New Zealand, and they went wrong. Got myself a drink, got myself a burger. These are good burgers. It was a good burger, now it's in my stomach. Burgers! I had no idea who those people were, but everybody in New Zealand is super friendly, and they invited me to sit at their table while we ate. Went off to have a look around. The town had a sort of Victorian feeling about it. Although it's a frontier town originally, it was settled in Victorian times. It was then that I stumbled across this beautiful old steamship made at the turn of the last century. More on her later in the adventure. Then it was back to this mess in the van, and I had to work out how I was going to sleep the night. Just trying to sort myself out in here. It's just like a boat, but it's really small. But it's compact. I've got a cooker here, I've got a sink here, I've got the bunk that is up there and slides out. Whenever you travel rough, when you travel with a backpack, one of the things is like when you, and I've done this throughout the world, many occasions, you don't know where you're going to sleep that night. You know, that's part of it. You don't book. You just. I mean, I had organised this. I knew that I was going to be here, but it's still. You know, I'm sleeping in a van tonight. That's the sleepy bit. I've still got to sort that out yet. Have you ever tried getting a duvet into a duvet cover in a small space? That's really cool, isn't it? Look at that. We're in a tiny van. It's great. It's a huge, bigger bed than I've got on Shaddy. It's a shame I haven't got anybody with me. Oh, look at this river down here. Apparently this is a very famous bungee jumping bridge. It's one of the first that they ever did it at. This camper thing is, I love it. You know, you just stop and you can have a cup of tea or make yourself a meal or something. It's brilliant. No plan in particular. I'm sort of heading a bit north. I'm gonna do a circuit. Go around. I'm gonna go look at some glaciers, some famous glaciers. That's kind of the plan. So yeah. So the plan is no plan. This is running out of steam now. Come on, baby! Come on! What you're looking at there is the Southern Alps. We're actually going north because we arrived by plane so far south. We're going north to get to the Southern Alps, which are over there. Just pulled into a little pit stop. No matter how remote you are in this country, the government here likes to take care of its people. You can be in a wild place like this lake that is, I don't know how many hundreds of meters above sea level, with the Alps behind you. You park in a bush and there's a toilet.
Journeys take longer than you think. Allow extra time because you might need a poo.
Which is very, very strange. Very, very namby-pamby. It's quite, I find it a bit odd, to be quite honest with you. They're paranoid about people pooing anywhere except in a thing in the ground, but I mean the amount of effort it must need to clean that must make it an on-green thing. Easier just to poo in the lake. Let's go take a look at that. It's a big old lake. It makes the lakes that we have back in Britain look tiny, and this is just one of many in this area. It is wild wilderness at its best, and up there are the Alps. It's been a while. I've been working on the boat for so long and stuff like that, and it's just to be able to come out now and do this, it's awesome. Whatever you do in life, do something amazing every so often. Do something unexpected. Do something that pushes you to your limit and maybe slightly above it. Got to make yourself feel alive. I was in such a mood before I came here. Apathy and just tired, and I had to give myself a metaphorical ass kick to get myself out here doing this. I'm so glad I did. Home sweet home. We got the toilet next door, but I'm gonna be a rebel. I'm gonna take a pee in the bush. Oh, hang on. No overnight stays beyond this point. All right. No fires. Hey, Juicy. you've got to be very, very, very careful. There's a sign back there saying that high fatality rate with motorcycles. And I see that everywhere I travel in the world. Wherever you see a good motorbiking road, they all get killed on it because they go too fast. Around this corner, something incredible happens. I don't know if you can see it, but up there on that there mountain is snow. Yeah, snow. As I came back down to the lowlands, I stopped off at this aerodrome. Nothing much was happening, but I'd seen it featured on a YouTube channel before. But they did have around it and in that area quite a few places to go see things like this, classic cars. Out of all the places in the world, this is the last place you'd think to find a 1934 Duesenberg. It was back in its time and still is a beautiful car. If you've ever seen the film Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, it's one of my favourites, at the beginning it features racers from the 1900s. This is an example, and I'd love to have had a ride in one. Also under the same roof, First World War aircraft, and this nice Harley Davidson.
Seen these before. This is actually what they used to train pilots in. This is the early days of a simulator. That's pretty amazing. Look at that. It's dark in there, but there's all kinds of instrumentation and stuff. This thing actually used to flop around just like a real simulator does today. But you can see the technology is all driven by valves. Yeah, attention. Seem to have lost your head, man. This is for people who are wondering why there are no boats in this video. This is in a boat. A very nice boat. And it's right next to this. 1918 Packard.
If you know your aircraft, you'll know that this is super rare. This is one of the famous Merlin engines. This particular example came out of one of these, a Hurricane. This I thought was real, but on closer inspection, it's a replica. But I'd love to take one of these home with me. Then it was time to get back on the road. The weather had broken and everything had got very, very wet.
And this is just in front of me. It's everywhere. Awesomeness abounds. This is brilliant. Look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it, look at it. This is just, I'm going to have to stop here, look. It's just like, oh. There's a waterfall that way. I don't know how to say this. It's just, I haven't been in a situation like this for a long time. I'm not lost, I know where I am, but I'm still in the middle of nowhere. It's going to get dark soon. I'm in a camper van, so it's okay. I've got shelter from the elements, and I've got wine and beer and some food on board, so it should be okay. But this is adventure at its best. It's armchair adventure. I'm sitting in a big comfortable armchair looking at this stuff.
There's something going on here, look. I'm not entirely sure what that is. Oh, I better close my window. Look at this. Oh my. Oh, baby. Holy crap. Oh, bloody hell. Woo. Whoa. Whoa.
Oh! Yeah, baby. Just starting to come out of the mountain range now. This river's been flowing alongside me for the last hour or two. The amount of water, especially now it's raining, flowing down this thing is immense. Hopefully only a few more miles to go. It's getting a little bit late and I'm tired.
After a lot of driving around, finally found myself a place to stay for the night. It's a bit wet and desolate again, but it's peaceful. It's got some great facilities, great shower room, nice kitchen, all the stuff you need. Kind of home from home. I made my dinner here tonight, just a can of chili. There's nowhere else to eat. There's some places up the road here, but I was too tired. I had an Anchor beer as soon as I parked up. So I bought the stuff in here. I've got to transfer all the data from stuff I filmed today, put it on a hard drive. It's just one of the jobs I have to do. But a nice glass of red wine will go with it as well. Yes, a nice glass of red wine. And then to work. Good morning. I'm snuggled up this morning in the van because it rained and rained and rained last night and it's quite cold this morning. Yeah, I'm under there somewhere. Take a look outside. Oh. Yeah, that's the view out there. It's not a particularly nice day, I don't think.
This is one hell of a break. I've just fueled up. I've had 2 cups of coffee and I'm on my way. I'm going up to see a glacier. It's a hell of a trip, this. This is a long way between anywhere. But here we go. Oh dear. And it's cold. It's blooming cold. One of those days you get up and your fingers are so cold. You're like, oh, I have cold fingers this morning. It's probably not nice outside.
Meantime, if you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to subscribe and press the notifications bell at the end. Thank you so much. This is a little town called Franz Josef. It's famous for having a huge glacier that you can visit, and you do that by hiring a helicopter and flying up there. But as you've already seen, up in the mountains, the weather is terrible, and I was told by the helicopter people there was no chance of ever flying up there for at least a week. So I had to turn around and retrace my steps and try someplace else. So join me next time when I visit the most beautiful place in the world.